giving away for free is Joe's Daffodils, and it's a beautiful image. So if you love Kitten Clouder, go check it out, and check out SheepSki Designs image because it's beautiful. It's called Joe's Daffodils, and several of us have put our like DT inspiration cards on there so that you could take a look. All right, so today I'm working on, it's called Christmas Eve, but there's two versions. There's one with reindeer that go across the moon, and there's one without. And so the image I'm doing has, I'll scoot that down, no reindeer on it. So if you want to do one for Christmas, they have one where the reindeers are going across, and it's really quite cute. All right, so we're going to get started, and I just wanted to show you. See, I did this with alcohol markers with Copics already, and I thought, you know what, it would be fun to do this. Here it is with the alcohol markers. It would be fun to do it with as watercolor, so that you can see the difference. So on my blog, I'm going to put, not gonna is not a word, I'm going to put the correct both of these on my blog so you can see the difference. So we are going to get started, and with this I'm going to go ahead and do the moon first, only because I want to make sure it's dry before I do his hair. So that is the reason I'm doing it. And what I do is I just use paper towel. I just use it over and over again. So we're going to get started right here. And this is Zig markers. And they are water-based Tombow markers, not Zig. Tombow. So this is 090. I believe there's a chart. I think that's that there is a chart. So what I'm doing is just going around the edges, and then I'm going to pull this out. Now this I printed on watercolor cardstock. Canson. It's Canson. I'm going to pull it out. It's Canson. See, watercolor cardstock. And if you print it on draft, it's better. I did not print on draft, and I really should have. But what you do, see, I didn't clean my brush. That's okay, because we're going to make them, we're going to make this a little murky. So it's okay. Should clean your brush, and I did not. But it's okay. No worries, because we're going to make this a little murky anyway, because it's the moon and not the sun. So we'll cover that up. We'll just pull that out with water, and you can clean up errors, see, with your paper towel. So we're just going to clean that up a little bit. No worries. All right, so I'm going to go back in just a little bit more. Okay, what was I saying? Oh, I put this through the laminator about 3 times, and then I set it off to the side. So that way your ink doesn't run. Now there's no guarantee that your ink won't still run, but that generally takes care of it. So if you do this on draft when you print and then run it through your laminator, generally you're okay. So I wanted this to kind of dry, and I'm going to go over this a little bit more in a few minutes, but I just wanted to kind of get that out of the way because of his hair. And so take your brush, you know, clean it. Don't do like I did. Big mistake. All right, so we are going to start. Actually, I'm going to start with his jacket. We're going to kind of go back and forth because of letting things dry. And this is actually an A2 size die that I used, but I'm going to put it on a 6x6 card. So I could have kept it as an A2 card. It's a little dark, so I'm trying to brighten it up a little bit here. There. Okay. So with his hair, I am using this $8.99, and I have $8.79. And there is a chart with the actual names, and I need to print that up. Dawn sent me that one, and I do need to print it up. So I'm just going in, just like similar to when you have your Copics, and I'm going in where the artist, which is Andrea, has already drawn locks of hair. So, and then here on the edges, and what I do is I don't go all the way down because, you know, watercolor by nature runs, so I don't go all the way down when I do it. And with his hair, we're going to go over it a couple of times. You know, and watercolor is looser than alcohol markers, so you're not going to get a sheen like you do with alcohol markers. So if you're expecting that, that's not going to happen. And also when you are doing your brush, if you do it in a figure 8, and you go back and forth, you can clean your brush, and see, it gets it off. It gets it off really well. And I'm just using these little, I'm not sure, the Kuretake is the brand. They were just little cheapy ones that I got on Amazon. And there's all different brands. Now the water flows pretty quick, so I just use my paper towel and I kind of keep it in my hand. And we're going to go over his hair a couple of times, and you see the water is coming out quick. So you can take another brush that's drier to spread the water if you want. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just off to the side grabbing another brush. Yeah, right here. Just to kind of spread it out a little bit. And hair takes a little bit of work when you're doing it. So don't fret. Just takes a little bit of work, and I'm just doing short little strokes, just like you do really when you're using your markers. I used to watercolor all the time. I don't know, and then I kind of got away from it. I don't know why. I started out with doing watercolors with ink pads, the water-based ink on the ink pads, and I would make really pretty backgrounds and do a lot with that. And then I got into the alcohol markers, and for a little while I was doing a lot with my pencils. Kind of, I don't know, there's trends. You kind of follow the trends, I guess. And then now I do a lot with my Copics. Kind of go back and forth with what I do. But you want to try to keep your hobby, your skill sets up. So I'm just kind of going back and forth, and I did make a little boo-boo over here, but it's okay. We can fix it. I got on his ear, but it's okay. All right, so now I'm going to take my other marker, my 879, and I'm just going to go back in again where all these little pieces of hair, and I'm just kind of doing like, kind of like a V. Just trying to think how to say that. Kind of like a V. Kind of zigzagging. And I hope you can see me okay. I haven't even seen the comments. Hi Cynthia, hi Gail, hi Helen, hi Dawn. I think Jackie's on. Andrea's on. She has SheepSki Designs, and she makes beautiful images. She did the tango image she created that tango image that I just love. And the beach scene. I got a lot of compliments on that beach scene. And she did that. So I'm just kind of doing zigzaggies in his hair, and then we're going to pull it out. I got a lot of compliments on that beach scene, the sea scene, which I love. I love that one. Yeah. I think you should do another one with a young lady walking by those beach huts. So see, I'm just going in after I've done the zigzags. Hair takes a little bit more work when you are doing watercolors. So you have to be patient, and you might have to go back in after your paper dries and do a little bit more. So I'm just doing zigzags, trying to get some definition. So that's what I'm doing. And my vision seems a little blurry today, so I'm having a little trouble with the strands at the end. But there we go. So see, you just do little zigzaggies. I don't think that's a word. But then you can get the hair effect. So that's what I'm trying to do. Don't want him to be bald. He's looking a little bald there. There we go. See? It's not difficult. And then I'm going to go back in with my 899. And again, kind of zigzag, but I'm doing smaller. See, a little bit smaller, because I want his hair to look like he's got a lot of definition. So there we go. And I did make a little boo-boo with one of his ears, but that's okay. So there we go. So now I'm going to get these very tips. Then we're going to let this dry. So we're going to move on. There we go. So see, he's got dimension in his hair that way. Okay, so I'm going to take this off. Don't worry about the moon because we're going to come back and do more to the moon. I just wanted to get it started. And I'm going to move these off to the side. I love these Tombows. I had a small set, and I did buy a bigger set after I saw Dawn use them. And, you know, that's an enabler for you. I had a set of, I don't know how many, the smaller set, that about 10 maybe in a set. Then I saw what she did with the bigger set, so I had to get it. So, all right, so maybe, I don't know, zoom you a little closer. Oh, Sandy is in Florida, my first time. Hi from Florida, my first time. Oh, well, thank you for joining us today. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more if I can. I don't know why my phone's not cooperating. There we go. That way you can see a little bit better. There we go. So I'm going to do his stripe across his back, and I am using the number 76. And so I'm coming over here, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not going all the way to the side because watercolors run. That's the way they're supposed to do. And so I don't want it to run over. It's going to run a little bit, and that's what your paper towel's for. But I just don't, I wanted to try to control it a little bit. So I'm just pulling this out. Then I'm going to take my brush and then pull the color out. Just gently. And this one, like I said, is a little bit flowing too quickly. Needs to be replaced. These cheapy ones, they don't last very long. But you usually can get them in 4 or 5 in a set, so it's okay. But you don't want your watercolors, well, it's just not going to look tight like the alcohol markers. It's not made to. It's supposed to look a little bit more faint. So I'm just trying to pick up a little color and pulling it out a little bit more. And then we'll go over this a second time after it dries a little bit. I could turn on the heater, my little heater, but it makes so much noise, so I'm trying to just let it dry naturally. Okay, I'm going to use gray, and I'm just going right here where the artist Andrea has already drawn some lines, and then I'm just laying down a little bit more gray over this way, and just pulling it out. And we're going to pull this out with water, so it's okay. There we go. I'd love to be in Florida. My goodness. Yes, I've been an enabler before. Who was it that was an enabler? Oh my gosh, somebody. Oh, I think it's from my another team that I'm on. Yes, it's from another team that I'm on. They had bought a couple of images from a designer I hadn't heard of, and so then, of course, I went and bought 2 more images to work on. Kind of funny, because we do get, you know, we're working on these images on the design team, and we have quite a few that we work on, so it's kind of funny to go buy some more. But you want to, sometimes there's cards you're wanting to create, so you you know, you do pick them up. So anyway, I told her that she was an enabler. And if you like a Sweet Sentiment paper, it's on sale this weekend. If you buy at least 2 packs, between 2 to 5 packs, you can get your shipping for $3. And that's a really good deal. So if you like Sweet Sentiment paper, now's the weekend to buy it. So now I'm being an enabler. So I'm just going back down. Now you could use a lighter gray than this. This is kind of a darker gray, but I like it. And actually, I almost wanted to try using Sweet Sentiment paper today to see how it did with the watercolor, because Jamie was saying that you can use it. So I Almost thought about trying it, but I didn't. I wasn't quite bold enough. So I'm just going to try to move this color down. So this is a dry brush, and I'm just moving the color down. You see how it moves? It does move down, and you can move it. See? You move it whatever direction you want. I love watercoloring. Dawn, with Dawn G Designs, she's fabulous at watercoloring. So there we go. And then I'm going to go back in with my gray. Let me make sure it's really my gray. Yeah, because I do tend to pick up the wrong thing. I'm just going back in and doing these lines a little bit. And we will go back again with this a second time. So now I'm going to go back with my green. And I do wish I had one of my other brushes, because this one is really flowing fast. But this one, see, is so long, but we'll try it. We'll try using it. So I'm going to just go over here and bring some more green and a little bit more down his arm, a little bit more around his shoulder, and of course we want to do this edge like that, like so. And I have some more fresh water here. So I'm just going to dip the very tip and see if I can move this green without having it flow quite as much. Like I said, I need to replace my brushes. This brush is horrible, but I'm trying with it. I should have tested my brushes before I started, I guess. There we go. So just coming down and pulling it out. There we go. It's coming out now. The green is moving. And then I'm going to take my, and you can use your paper towels forever. I just keep using these over and over again. So don't feel like you have to get a whole big old roll. You can just keep using it. I'm going to come back again. Oop, that's the wrong green. It's okay though. It's okay. No mistakes in art. Now my paper has gotten a little bit wet. Just a little bit. We'll let it dry just a little bit. But I want to get this over right in here. There we go. Okay, so now let's let that dry. And let's move down to his pants. And for his pants, I am going to use this 528 and then also the 526. So, hi Jackie, how are you? Oh, hi honey, how are you? My goodness. Well, it's a little earlier for you than our normal 7 o'clock that we keep doing. That's why I tried to do one in the afternoon, so people in Europe, maybe they can catch a live, even though it's evening time for them. It's not early. So I'm just going in here with the lighter color, and I'm doing this other side. And then I'm going to bring it out with my water, just lightly. One of the things I am going to be doing soon is buying some new brushes, because these are horrible. So you can take your paper towel and kind of soak up when you're getting too much water. Now you can use the little dryer, and that does help a lot, but I didn't want to do the noise while we're doing a live. So I'm trying not to do it. And if you use the paper towel, see, it takes up a lot of the color. But I also don't want it real wet. Okay, so we're going to let that dry just a little bit, and then we'll come back to it. Now, this is a quicker image, I know, but we're going to do a little bit more with the background and the moon and things. So we're going to get in here and do his collar. And this is the tricky part because of his hair. So I'm going to try taking my brush and see if I can move the color without disturbing his hair. So I'm just trying to get in here. It's really tricky for me because I have two different eyes, lenses in my eyes. I have one that's far-sighted and one that's nearsighted. So sometimes it's a little hard for me to see up close. There we go. That wasn't too bad. It didn't move his hair. Now we're going to let this dry just a little bit, and we're going to come back in there and lay down a little bit more color, because you do want to lay down more color. You want more depth. So I'm just taking my paper towel and going in here, because I got this on his ear. We're trying to fix that just a little bit. I don't know if we'll be able to fix it or not, but we're trying. I just don't want to smudge on my paper. So there we go. Trying to lift that up a little bit. Now these actually have a blender brush that comes with them that I could use probably to get that off of his ear. So there we go. See, that's really an ear over there, and I did get this. See, I'll show you. It's really an ear. And I did get the hair. Now see, here's the difference in the hair. It has a lot of dimension, really, just like with the Copic markers. But you don't get that shine that you get with Copic markers. Okay, so let's try doing our dog. Oh, I don't know if you saw that. Here, let me bring that back over. Here's the image with the watercolor, and here it is, see, with the Copics. So I don't know if you can see it. There's a delay in my camera. There we go. So see, that's the difference. And see, that's the difference in the color with the jackets. Just so you have kind of an idea. There's a little bit of a delay, so I don't always see that that it has delayed on me. Now, I have not practiced with the little dog, so we're gonna see how we do with him with the watercolors. He was not as difficult with my Copics, but we'll see how it is with the watercolors. So I'm going to use this Tombow 992 to start with. And I'm just going to do around the edges where he's got, you know, his fur. Just kind of go in there. Now, you can use this blender marker, or I think this is it. Yeah, you can use this to pull your color out with. I haven't actually really used that very much. How about we try it and just see what it does? I really don't know, because I really haven't used it that much. So we'll see. So I'm just going to go around the edges, and again, I'm just kind of doing kind of zigzaggy, so that way it replicates fur. So I just went around it. I just want to see what this does, because I have not used this. It's water-based. It's $1.95. No, that's not it. There is one that comes with it. No, there is one that comes with it, and I've not used it. Oh, here it is, N00. Let's just try it, because I'm not sure what it does. I don't know if Dawn's used it or not. See, it's supposed to pull the color out. Yeah, see, it pulls the color out a bit. I don't know. I don't know if I would use it or not that much. Maybe, I don't know. Should use the things that we have. Okay, so let's go in with this other marker, the 089. I just kind of do this lighter color just so I know where I want to lay down my color, because like I said, it does bleed. So now I'm just zigzagging around it, and then we're going to use our water to kind of bring it all together. Watercolor is pretty forgiving, really. Some people, they love it. Some people, they hate it. Yeah, see, this brush, a lot of water comes out. So I'm just laying down the water, and then I'm going to take this other brush that I have. You kind of have to be multitask when you're doing this. So I'm going to use this one, and I'm getting pretty close. And I'm just going to pull the color out. See, I'm pulling it out of the tail. And pulling it towards the center. Then we're going to go over this again, because just like the hair, it takes a lot of work. So you can't expect it to look perfect that quick. So we're just going to pull it out. going to take my brush, just put a dab of water, and then get my brush wet and pull this out a little bit more. Just kind of work it. There we go. There we go. Alright, so now let's go back in with our lighter color. And this is the 992. I hope you can see. So now I'm just kind of going back in. Just going to go back in again. And a little bit more. Alright. And then we're going to pull that out. You're trying to make it look like fur. And I don't think dogs are just all one, at least my dog's not, one shade. So I'm just kind of going in, just going around, just sort of going around. And I'm going to go around again, kind of go back and forth with these two colors. There we go. And just kind of move the color around with your brush. There we go. Now he's starting to come alive. Just little C shapes. I'm doing like little C's. There we go. That's the effect I kind of was trying to get. There we go. And then we want a little jaggedy here. A little bit jaggedy there. Now, I'm going to go in with my brush. It's a lot of going back and forth, but it is relaxing. Well, actually, you know, coloring is very relaxing. I used to color with my brushes, my pencils too, and it is relaxing, but it takes a long time when you do pencils, I think. Pencils take me a long time. I have to sit for 2 or 3 days and work on an image. There we go. So I'm just pulling this out with the water. I'm just kind of building up layers. See? Then when you get done, it looks like fur. Now, his fur looks a lot like his hair. but they're actually different colors. All right, so now this is trickier right here because of his collar with the little circles. So what I'm doing with this is I'm really not going to worry so much about using water right in here. I'm just going to go ahead and do his collar. Hi, Fatima. How are you? Fatima, I love watercoloring. It's just that I don't know why. Some of the images I think are better watercolored than others. And when I did this image, I actually thought this would actually be a nice one to watercolor. This is 476 and this is 526. So I'm just kind of going back and forth. And then I'm going to take the 528, trying to do these little circles right here. And really, they'd probably be more metallic than that. Okay. See, he's coming along. Now I'm going to take my 526, and I'm just kind of feeling it. Ooh, my nails are horrendous, sorry. And I'm just going to, right here, I want it to be a little rounded. You know, right here. And then also right in here. You know, you want a little bit more shading on the side. So then I'm going to take my brush and just kind of pull this out a little bit more. And so see, you can go back, see now it's picking up more color. And move it around. There we go. So the more layers you put on, but you got to let it dry, the more intense the color. But you do have to let it dry. And if you use your this heat tool, this is the heat tool, that works really well. It's just that for the live, I didn't want to turn that on because it's like really, really loud. And so I didn't want to, I just didn't want to put it on for the live. So I'm going in with N75, and I'm going to go right here on the sides, and see it's dry again. And right here I notice I missed a little spot. So I'm going off to the side, where you want it rounded. And I'm just gonna put this down. There we go. Off to the side. There we go. And then I'm going to take my brush and pull the color out. See, I'm moving it out. And the more layers you put on, the more intense your colors look. See? There we go. And that's kind of the effect I want. Now, I'm going to take my brush, and I've got a glass mat, and I'm just trying to pick up a little bit of color to put right here on his collar. And that's not working so well, so I'm going to take it from his jacket and then bring it up here. See, there we go. There we go. Because I don't want his hair to get messed up. So there we go. And right in here on the side. See how you can pull the color back out as it dries. There you go. That's how people, they make, like they put their watercolor on cardstock and then they let it dry and they take it with them, and then they can take their brush and reactivate it and use it when they are traveling. So you don't have to take your whole entire palette with you when you're traveling. So that is something you can do. All right, so let's work on our moon. It's the moon, it's not the sun. So let's work on that a little bit. And our background. And we're going to make a card. It's a little quicker live, maybe, than our lives when we do the Copics. I don't know. So, I've never watercolored. Tanya said she's never watercolored. I do like the dog. I think the dog came out okay. You know, when you do a live, a lot of pressure. And you never know how things are going to come out. And so there is a lot of pressure. You worry. But, you know, there are no mistakes. So don't worry. You can fix things. So I'm going to use the Distress Oxide ink. And I'm going to show you what I do. I'm just going to move this for 1 minute. I just take my blender brush. See, and I clean it this way. Okay, and then I pick up some color and just put it in the lid. Now you can put it on a glass mat, but since we're doing the live, I don't have a lot of space. So I'm just going to go in here like this, and I'm rubbing around, and see, a little bit of brown got on here, but that's okay. It's okay. Now, I'm going outside. See, I'm going outside because your moon, it glows, right? It glows. So I am going outside of my moon a bit because it does glow. Now I'm going to take my paper towel. You got to find a place that's clean. And I'm simply going to dip it in the water. So I've dipped it in, and I'm just going around this, see? And that picks up some of the color, and that's okay. I want it to do that because it's the moon, and it's not going to be a solid color. And see, while we're doing it, I'm trying to fix where his hair, you know, some of the brown from his hair got. So I'm just going to do that again. Take a little bit of water on my paper towel and just move it around. See, like that. And that kind of gives it a the crater look. That's what I'm going for. Okay, now I'm just gonna let it dry just a little bit. Now we are going to do our night sky. So I'm going to take, this is just paper that I've cut, and so I'm going to put it like this. I'm cleaning my brush again, just like that. And you could, you would have this off to the side, down, you would have it down like this, and you just clean it. Okay, so I'm covering my moon because I don't want it to, this to get on top of my moon. And again, you can just pick up your color, put it here in your lid, and I'm just brushing off. See? Just kind of brushing off. So I'm just doing it again. Some of these work better. These are Harmony. This one does not work as well. This one is crushed velvet. It works better. This one was Pale Fig. I bought these brand new when they very first came out, and that one has never worked. I don't know. I should have complained, but I didn't. All right, so see, now we come down, and I just cut this. This is just cardstock. You kind of figure out where you want it to be, because you don't want your clouds to look exactly the same. So let's go like, maybe like this, and go, see, just keep moving down. There we go. And that is how I do my backgrounds. I'm trying to stay in frame. Yeah, see, that is how I do my backgrounds. And this is going to be a night sky, so it's going to be a little darker. That's okay. We're going to come down. And it's okay when you have a little bit of a error, because you come back up, rub again. And we're going to sprinkle some water on this. Now, I don't want to just use this one color. This one is the Fig. What is that? Oh, crushed velvet. This one was crushed velvet. I'm going to pick up another color, which is a little bit darker. It is Damson Wine. And again, I'm just picking up my color, putting it in the lid, and then I move this. So you kind of place it where you think. Now you can buy a stencil if you want. I just made my own. I figure why spend the money. Okay, so now I'm coming back up. Kind of coming back up again. Back up, and then over this way. Because this is a night sky, so it's going to be a little darker. And then come down. There we go. There we go. And see, find, like right here, you need a little bit more color. So you just kind of, like that. Now sometimes I take my colors and I go back over it again. Like if I wanted to do a little bit of orange in here, I could do a little bit of orange. That's okay. Now, if you wanted to do stars, all you gotta do is take your, see, it's kind of like, almost like, it's a little bit before sunset, so it's not really a night sky on this one. So I don't know that I want to do stars, but you just get water, and I'll just show you. You get water and you just flick. See? You just flick, and you would kind of have the effect of stars. So you can see right here, kind of lightens it up. But I don't want to do too much because I don't want to lose my I kind of like this look. It looks sort of like it's gonna, like it's evening and not nighttime. All right, so now what I do is I actually take blue. I do a little bit of blue, and so I'm just grabbing my blue. And again, it is Distress Oxide. So I just, this one is Salty Ocean. I just do like this. Maybe it takes longer to do this than the actual painting. So I just do it in my lid. And I just kind of come down. And I got a little heavy right here. But that's okay. Kind of come down. And I'm just going over it because we want it to be darker. Right? Because it's supposed to be nighttime. Kind of going over it. And just off to the side. Trying to get in here where, in between him. Yeah, there we go. And a little bit more. Hope my hand's not in your way. And then, final color I'm going to take is green. And this is another Distress Oxide, but it's a little one. And I cleaning my brush, taking this, and just kind of doing underneath. So we're just going all around him. because they're sitting. All right, so there we go. And then what you can do is, depending on your paper, if you want to pull in another color in here, like sometimes I pull in orange, I just go back over it again. It doesn't hurt anything. You've already got your clouds, so you can go ahead and go over it as many times as you want to get the effect you want. Let me see another color that I could add in, just to show you that it doesn't matter. Let's do this one. Let's do this Victorian velvet. You can just add in, but your clouds will still be there. So I'm just kind of using my lid. See, and you can just kind of go in. There we go. And you go back over it. And see, that just intensifies those colors a little bit. And you can even go back over your moon if you want to make it look a little cloudy. See, your clouds, your basic shape of your clouds are not going to go away. I sit and do this. I'll put several layers on when I'm doing a background. For my Tangle one, I did it for quite some time. Let me show you. See, this is the Tangle one. This is a SheepSki design, and I did this background. I probably put 5 or 6 layers of ink on this one, and then I did splatter it to give it some star effect. So you can go over this as many times as you want. This one that I did with the Copics, see, I went over it probably 3 times. So you can go over it as many times as you want. Now, our moon still has a little bit dark right there, so I'm just taking that off. See, you can go back in, take that off. So there you go. Okay, so now let's put our card together. And I think that, you know, watercoloring comes out nice. And this paper, this is a 6x6 card, and this paper is, let me show you, Amy Butler designer paper. I don't know if you can see that in there or not. This is what Sandra sent me. She sent me a packet of paper out of the blue as a gift, and it's just beautiful. And that's how I determined the color for my cards. It was from this paper. I just thought it was beautiful. Let me make you a little bit smaller. There we go. So you can see me put the card together. So this is a 6x6 card that we're doing, and this is my mat. So the top one is about 1/8 of an inch. Well, it is 1/8 of an inch smaller. So this is the 6x6, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. Then we'll compare the two cards. Now the Copics colors are more intense, and if you have more time, you know, this is a live, we're doing it really quick. If I was sitting and just watercoloring, I could sit all evening and go back and forth over this image as it dries to get the intensity that I want. Okay, I already poked a hole here because you guys know me that follow me. I will put everything together, then I remember that I wanted to use a brad. Then it's too late. You know, it covers my word a little bit. So all I did was I stamped this paper, and I put dreams. I stamped it, and I made a little banner, and this is a little brad. And so I already cut my hole so I could put my brad in. And these brads are really weird. They're not where it all comes out in one place. It comes out on the far ends of each other. It's really odd. So they're a little difficult to use. And this pretty paper on the back side. So I'm just putting this on. I love brads. I don't know. It's so funny because I had my tool to use to make the holes with brads for a long time, and I didn't use them because I was afraid. And I thought one day I'm going to get that out and start using it, and now I use it all the time. I love them. I think they are so nice. And I'm so glad that you know, you got to face your fears. All right, so then this is a 4-inch square, 4x4, and so this is 1/8 of an inch smaller. And see, this is just the back side of that paper. And it's beautiful paper. I was like so surprised when I received the paper. And so, my goodness, I am going to use it. So here we go. And I love paper that coordinates. The reason I use this glue, see, I can lift it back up when you don't get something quite right. And this is art glitter glue. You might have to put a little bit more on to make it. I didn't have to there, see? So I'm doing this back side. And this is just Nina cardstock. That is, I think it was called Naturals. And I picked it up at Walmart. It was in this marked down area. And I picked it up and I use it for my matting. So there we go. And then this is an A2 size card, actually. So you could just make an A2 size card if you want. Now, you know, if we weren't doing a live, I would spend a little bit more time on my watercoloring. And I think it would, you know, it pays off if you spend more time. I did it a little quick for our live. So, you know, if you take your time, I think you get a better effect than we have. But it's pretty good for a live where you're working for an hour. There we go. So I'm going to put him right here. And I matted this too, so that they're all matted. See, there we go. Now you can add, like if you wanted to add a ribbon or gems, anything you wanted, you could add to your card, right? I don't necessarily want to add anything because really I feel like this would be for a boy. But let me show you the difference between the two cards. So here the card is watercolored, and here the card is with Copics. So you get a kind of a different, I don't know if you, let me pull it up a little bit more. Oh yeah, I think you can see it. You get a different look because you can make a shine. So you can make a shine with your Copics. You can make a little bit of shine where the highlight's at that you can't do with your watercoloring. But on the other hand, I think that with your watercolors, you can give the hair more texture because you're layering that paint. So, you know, there's pluses and minuses. And with watercoloring, it's more free flowing. So I enjoy that. So that's the difference between the two. And I hope that you go over to the Kitten Clouder site and pick up the daffodil card, the image that you could get for free today. I was looking to see if I have it up here because it's such a pretty image. I kind of got my, hope I'm not fading out on you with my voice. It's such a pretty image. But SheepSki, you know, I did this one live. See, that was such a pretty image. SheepSki just has beautiful images, and I think it's so wonderful that they are live today. Oh, and here's another one that I had done. So I just think they're beautiful, beautiful stamps. And it's great. You get one free today if you go over to Kitten Clouder. So I hope that you stop by there. And yeah, I think, Andrea, that you do get more texture with the watercolor. I really do. It just kind of depends what your preference is. You know, you can do pencils too. I love working with pencils. They take me more time. I don't know if I could do a live with pencils or not. I could try one day. I'd have to practice up because I don't have a lot of speed with my pencils. Whereas with Copics and the watercoloring, I think I have more speed. But I would really take a little bit more time if I were painting, if I were going to do this to send to somebody. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll be live again on Thursday. And I have a busy week, and I can't wait till Thursday. I can chit-chat with my friends and tell them what's kind of going on. Nothing card related, but, you know, happiness all around. So anyway, I will see you later. And tonight, Dawn G is on, Dawn G Designs. She's on at 6, I believe. And then Gail Sue is on tonight at 8 with Stamping with Gail. So if you like to follow along with lives, those are my buddies that do lives, and you should catch them. We all love to watch each other. So I will see you guys later, and thank you for joining me. Bye.